Ready?
All right, going straight into questions.
Yep.
All righty, we're going to start with
Chip Towers.
and
We
then
go straight to I promise Chip Towers. We go straight to questions. No high volume opening statements anymore.
Okay, well then first we'll go Chip Towers and then Anthony Dasher.
I saw that. Hold on, I do have an opening statement. Chip's hair is completely different than it was. I saw the pictures of Kirby's press conference when he got the job. You changed your hairstyle completely. You look like Tom Cruise when Kirby got here, right?
That is so astute of you to notice.
I saw that. I'm trying to see if I recognize everybody, and I said, "Who is that?"
What's there?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No more laughing. I'm sorry.
Chip, you can have the first question.
Oh, great. Thanks. No, Coach, obviously Toumani Camara's 17 rebounds were key, but this was a different kind of game than you guys have played all year. You alluded to that coming in, but how did you feel about how your team adjusted to, a lot of set plays, a lot of zone defense and all that kind of stuff these guys brought?
Well, it was tonight was the definition of a grinder. And I don't know if it had to be as much of a grinder on offense, because I think we missed some shots at times, or we didn't get the ball and we got our feelings hurt a little bit, right? And you can't have that mentality. Your mentality has got to be to keep coming. But what this team did, which is really, really hard for teams, is they kept guarding at a high level. So when guys weren't making shots or the ball wasn't moving as crisply as it was because of the way they were playing off into the paint on Severe, all right, we still played really, really hard defensively, and we still played really, really hard on the glass. And as I've said to them, there are four things that you should be able to control no matter what in a game. You should be able to control your defensive effort and energy. You should be able to control your rebounding pursuit, your physicality, your attack of the glass. You should be able to control how hard and fast you run, and you should be able to control moving without the ball. And that's kind of what the game brought. Did we hit every one of those aspects? No, but we did defend. We did rebound. For the most part, we got out and ran and pushed it, and we found a way to win the game. And I think all of these games are so important for learning how to win different ways. And tonight certainly was as different of any game that we've played to this point. And it was a great way to find a way to win it.
All right, up next, we're going to go with Anthony Dasher and then Torrey Heck.
Hey, Coach, just kind of follow up a little bit on what you just said about even though the offense was struggling, like you said, it did not affect the defense. I mean, guys were still getting after it. I mean, dominated them on the boards. I mean, that's just kind of what you want to see as a coach.
Well, yeah, that's the maturity. I mean, when you have older guys, now we had some guys tonight that they let their lack of offense affect their defense, but then we had to get them in and out of the game. But for the most part, the older guys, and then with Toumani, did a really, really good job of that. They just kept coming. I mean, and that's Michael Starks. I mean, that's what we have to have. Severe kept guarding, kept pushing, kept doing those types of things. We had to play him time and score a little bit with the foul issues. But bottom line is a really good sign of future maturity is when it's not going great for you personally offensively, or we're not scoring the way we want to, but we're still coming down and putting stops together, getting deflections and limiting them to one shot. That's important stuff.
Coach, obviously several new guys on this team this year, but Andrew Garcia kind of really showed out tonight. What has he brought to this team so far this year since he's been here, and especially tonight?
Maturity, wanting to win. He's coming off the bench right now, but he's a starter to me. And as I've said before, I mean, we're going to change this lineup. I mean, I could probably change it by Saturday, and we'll see. I mean, but Andrew is a key guy. And he epitomizes what it takes to win, doing what it takes to win, playing to his strengths. He's getting better at other aspects of the game. He's playing at a very competitive level, high level, and he makes everybody else better. And I think he brings comfort because people know that he's going to attack the glass. He's going to be able to score inside. He's certainly getting better as a shooter, and those types of things will come. But he's just playing to win the game. And I think that's a great indication of leadership from him for us. Now, what we need him to do, and I just said this to him after the game, is we need him to be more vocal and verbal with his teammates during the game and be a little bit more demanding. And now 4 games in, he needs to feel a little bit more comfortable doing that, hopefully.
All right, up next, we're going to have Jed May and then Palmer Tomes.
On the floor in the second half, and 2 with Toumani. He had 1 rebound in the season opener. He had 7 the last 2 games, and then obviously the big game tonight. Have you I guess, challenged him at points, whether it was earlier this season, over the summer, to be more of that physical presence on the glass?
Well, no question, but I think he knows that. I think he's an example of game one, and we just talked about this when I saw him when he left here. Game one, he came out with a scoring mindset, and he didn't play very well. The last 3 games, he's come out with an attack mindset, and he's played extremely well. And I think he's had 3 straight games of double-figure deflections, including having 16 tonight. He had 11 at half, and he's very, very active. When you come out active, when you come out aggressive, when you come out letting the game come to you offensively, but taking your attack mindset to the game, defensively rebounding the ball and with running, good things usually are going to happen. And it just takes guys, I'm glad he's figuring that out. And that doesn't mean that he's not going to have a tough night at some point. But the bottom line is when you play the game the right way with the right intent, and you're not worried about your offense, and you're not worried about your shooting, you're not worried about where you're getting the ball. If you're getting the ball, you play well. When you allow yourself to get distracted, I always say to guys, like, you're seeing ghosts. Don't see a ghost, just play the game. When you're missing shots or it's not going your way, we just got to grow through that. And Toumani's a great example of somebody that is truly growing through that. Christian Braun's situation is where we're at in the 2021 season right now. He didn't feel good at halftime. And so right away, it became, we've got to isolate, we've got to get him tested. And it was a judgment call made by our doctor and our trainer to say that he's not available. And he is definitely, he's either tested already or he's testing now. I don't have the results yet, but either way, we'll just see how it goes and hope that he's going to be okay.
Yeah, Coach, 2-part question for you here. Toumani had a career high tonight with 17 rebounds. Last season, his high was 9. 8 of those tonight were offensive. How important is that when it's not a huge offensive night? And second off, 3 games in 6 days, couple days off before the next game. What's the plan as far as practice goes? And are any of these guys going to get some days off?
You want a lot. You're asking a lot. You're asking a lot of deep thought questions right there. We have to take a day off each week, and so we will do that. And then we'll start to prepare for Samford. But it is really, really important that Toumani rebound the ball. It's very, very important that he's aggressive and attack. We do need those types of things, and we need it from a lot of people. I've said this to this team every day. We're only going to be as good as our team rebounding. All right, our team defense and our team rebounding, and then you got to get out and we got to run and we got to put pressure on the rim. And we're going to shoot threes, but we're not going to shoot threes just because they're there. We're going to shoot them because we've come inside out, because we've attacked, we've gone through the paint, we've gotten the ball reversed, all those types of things. So that's really what we want to continue to build forth as we get ready for the next game, and hopefully they'll rest up some and be ready to roll.
All right, up next, we're going to have Davis Baker and then Ryan Curley.
Hey, Coach. Like you said, not the best offensive night. There were 2 plays in particular that stood out to me. One in the first half when Starks took a charge, and 2 in the second half when McMillan threw the ball off a defender, and you had everybody on the bench standing up, cheering. How important are those energy plays, and what does it say about your team?
Well, I think it says a lot, and that's the way we are. We have got to be a collective unit. There are not 1 or 2 or 3 guys that are just going to carry this load every night and we're going to watch them do it. It's got to be a team deal, and we've got to be able to get into our bench, and we've got to be able to bring pressure from the bench. And I think that's important. And we just need to get more consistent. The guys you mentioned need to become more consistent for us. We all need to become more consistent. But the bottom line is, when you make good hustle plays, all right, your team should be very, very excited about that. And I thought for the most part we would. We don't want to let the social distancing on the bench or the masks keep us from having tremendous verbal energy and excitement, throughout the game. And I think the teams that handle that the best are going to be the teams that are victorious, because it's hard. It's definitely hard to have it be different like it is. But at the same time, we're very, very fortunate to be able to play these games. And we've got to keep getting that across to them, that you don't want to waste one moment when it comes to that, because you can't take it for granted. You never know what's coming the next day. As like a great example, Christian Braun is playing fine. All of a sudden he doesn't feel as good at halftime. We've got to shut him down for the rest of the game. And that just becomes the new reality for everyone. So the main reality is enjoy what you're doing to the fullest, and enjoy doing it with your teammates, and help make them better in every possible way.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. On a night where Severe Wheeler maybe didn't have his best game, how did you feel about Toumani stepping up and other guys like Garcia scoring off the bench?
I think that's important. I think, like I've said, I mean, we've got to get it from a lot of different people. And this was a good game to have to fight through because they didn't guard Severe as much. They packed the paint. They made it a little bit tougher. So that makes you have to cut a little harder, post a little deeper, screen a little bit better. All right. Be ready to shoot, all those types of things. And we don't want to let the defense dictate our activity and our movement. And there were times it did tonight, but for the most part, we still moved. We just didn't make as many shots. But I thought Toumani did a great job of being active.
All right, the final question is going to go to Mike Griffith.
So, Coach, what do you tell Severe after a game like that? I know, like I said, you coached up Yogi at Indiana, and Severe seems to be in that mold on his rise to stardom, perhaps. What do you tell a guy after a box score like that?
Don't worry about your offense, right? It's all about figuring out the game, and you can't get quiet. Now, he played really hard, but he got a little quiet tonight, and we can't have that. I mean, when you're an energy source and the team feels protected and safe when you're out there, you've got to continue to exude that confidence constantly. And yeah, you do go through it. You have to go through it. But at the end of the day, you've got to understand that whatever you're doing to impact winning is by far the most important thing. And so you point those things out that impacted winning. You try to help him. He's going to be a fine shooter. I mean, I'm not worried about that at all. Teams want to go under on the pick and roll. Great, right? We'll run rifles, which are rescreens, or we'll do different things like that. You can't go under twice. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. The other thing we got to get him to understand is to continue to get the ball back the second and third time, and that becomes part of the process when the ball sits a little bit and it's not moving quickly, and we're not cutting without it as well. That affects everybody, and that's just part of it. But we'll review that in film. We'll get back to practice, and we'll get ready to go with it on Saturday and try to be better, no matter what defense we see from Sanford.
Thanks so much, Coach.
All right, thanks everybody. Thank you.